Broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Stroud is sacked again. Oh, John Bull.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Defended in the car.
To Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win. The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker. Kenneth Walker. Touchdown. Smarty.
Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up.
Yes.
Caught. Touchdown to Detroit Lions. They did it. Amon-Ra St. Brown in the receiving end.
Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here. A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Good Wednesday morning to you. It's Hump Day. It's also the 16th day of August 2023. We welcome you here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Danny Cahalan, Anthony Bellino joining you. Thank you for joining us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio and worldwide on the iHeartRadio app. It is an absolute pleasure to have you riding along with us. And, of course, we encourage you to join the program at any time with anything you may have. You could text the keyword sports radio. You could send that to 21,000 sports radio to 21000. Myers Supercenter guest line 248-951-2176, 248-951-2176. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros. And, of course, good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN and streaming live on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. Add a .com to that to find our website. xbmornings@gmail.com is our fan feedback email inbox. And you can find us individually on Twitter. Danny Cahalan is at Dan in the studio. Ryan L. Key is at RyanL_Key. And I'm Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. Dan, what's going on over there this morning? Anything good?
The one half of the Women's World Cup semifinals have begun. I have no idea if the other game was played yet or not.
England and Australia.
Yes, in the about to be the third minute. I couldn't tell you anything. No, I didn't even watch 1 minute of one of the U.S. women's games. So no idea what's going on, but might as well watch the semis.
Well, have you ever heard of the WNBA's Commissioner Cup?
No.
That's what they were playing for last night between Las Vegas and New York. That's about all I can tell you about it. I just see that it says Commissioner's Cup. I'm like, yo, what's this obsession with all these cups? You know, I'm obsessed with right now Inter Miami. In their first, I think it was like 19 games, they had scored 22 goals as a team and were at the bottom of the MLS Eastern Conference. Messi has been on the team for 6 games, and they've now scored 19 goals. Like, that's how good he is.
He is already tied for the goals lead.
He scored one last night that he.
Maybe he's leading now. He could be leading now. Does he have 10? Because the leader had 9 before last night, and he had just tied him the previous game.
Yeah, they'd say he hit one last night that when he struck the ball never went airborne. It was insane. It was just running across the pitch. Simply remarkable. Becky Hammond also, head coach of the Aces. What are we doing with all that eyeliner on? You don't need to have that. You didn't have it for years. You're good, sweetheart. You're good. All right, we got a lot to get to on today's program.
Wow, Anthony.
What's that?
I am so just sad right now. TweetDeck You can't use TweetDeck.
Oh, I thought that they were like updating. So I saw
No, you have to pay. I keep trying to click on TweetDeck. It says I have to pay for Twitter to use it.
Oh, it must be for subscribers.
Oh my gosh.
You need a subscription.
This is brutal.
Hey, man. First world problems. See, when you say that out loud, people are like, oh.
This is $84 for the year?
Yeah, that's what it's coming to. The squeeze is on, man. Have you seen any of these videos out of Canada, by the way? These people that are these... I saw 2 videos, both women just randomly breaking down in their cars because they can't afford to live.
I don't know. I know it is extremely expensive for stuff in Canada. Like, I know it's literally double the price for beer compared to here.
Oh, I just wouldn't drink.
Like, a case of beer is like $45 US dollars in Canada.
You know what I think is this happened to me the other day is I was where was I going? I was going the engagement party. Right? The surprise engagement party. So I get back to my house after work and I'm running around like a crazy person, and I actually had the food for the party on me. Another one of our friends had cooked it, but he was doing an event up in Monroe, so I was like, hey, I can get the food because he's literally half a mile from where our store's at. I'll just get the food and bring it down and save you a trip. And my buddy was like, would you really do that? And I said, well, yeah, why wouldn't I? He's right there. He's like, okay, that would be great. So I grabbed the food, I hustle down, and I stop at a gas station, and I'm going to get a thing of White Claws because his mom likes seltzers, right? So I have something to drink for myself. You know, if you have something to drink for yourself, make sure you bring something to drink for someone else, right? And so I grab a case of White Claws. They were like $20 for 12. Does that make sense? Does that sound about right?
For what?
For White Claws, $20 for 12?
That's a good price. Unfortunately.
You think?
Yes. Dude, seltzers are ridiculous. I'm not even they don't taste good to me anymore. The first summer when everybody was like, yeah, White Claw. Sure. Then now I'm just like, I can't even do it.
Yeah, I just don't want to pay $20 for 12. You know what I mean? I think that's a little bit of outrageous.
Yeah, I'm all about the Costco pack.
Yeah, unless you're like actually paying attention to it, you get up to the register and they're like, oh, $26.50. You're like, what? How did that happen? Like $2 a pop? Where am I at right now?
Well, they get you because, I mean, it's alcohol. You know, it's not, it's not beer. That's how they can jack the price up on you.
Yeah, you know what? That makes sense now that you say that. Because there's another one that's like a vodka-infused seltzer.
Yeah, the High Noons. Those are triple the price.
High Noons.
Those are it's
like
literally
4
like
packs.
Yeah, it's like $15 for 4 of them.
It's ridiculous. But it's a good thing that I am not a part of the seltzer crew. Just not my cup of tea, and that's totally fine. All right, we got a lot going on. We're going to get to the Tigers last night. How about those Tigers last night? We'll talk about them. We've got a couple of different segments broken up for some of the big NFL news. We'll do one specifically on Dalvin Cook to the Jets. We'll do one specifically for Anthony Richardson, announced to be the Week 1 starter for the Indianapolis Colts. You'll hear from Teddy Bridgewater. He spoke to the media yesterday. We'll play that sound for you. Adam Rittenberg, ESPN, he will join us at 7:35. So I'm excited. And I have a question about college football. It's something we haven't talked about yet. Maybe I'll pitch it to Adam Rittenberg, but I'll throw it to you in hour number 3 as well. So don't go anywhere. Keep it locked right here to X's and Bros in the Michigan Sports Network.
Bill Simonson here for my good friend Josh Garvey. He is a managing partner at Bean Garter, soon to be Dorn Mayhew, and they'll be stronger together. And did you know Bean Garter can help your business with outsourcing your payroll and other business needs? that can help ease tax filing and year-end reporting, compliance reporting, human resources management, time and attendance tracking, and more. Just go to BrNGarter.com to find out more how they can help your payroll system and make your workplace that much smoother. Go to BrNGarter.com. That's BEENEGARTER.com, and they can help you with all your payroll needs. Like I mentioned, tax filing and year-end reporting, compliance reporting, human resources management, time and attendance tracking, and more. All your payroll needs can be handled by the team at BrNGarter. Find out more at BrNGarter.com.
Hey, this is Matt Shepard from the Michigan Sports Network. I love summers in Michigan because it means golf season. Now, two things always when I go golfing. I make sure I got my sticks, and I've got plenty of cold, fresh Labatt Blue Light. Whether I've just squeezed in 18 holes or I just want to relax on the patio after a long day, everywhere I go, and I'm serious when I tell you this, I tell people about the smooth, genuine taste of Labatt Blue Light. It's just a great beer. Michigan Sports Network is giving you a chance to win a foursome to Michigan's best courses. Just listen weekdays to The Huge Show and X's and Bros, or just text GOLF to 21,000 to enter. That's GOLF to 21,000. The trip includes 2 overnight stays and 2 rounds of golf, all brought to you by my friends at Labatt Blue Light. So grab a Labatt Blue Light the next time you head out onto the course and enjoy the blue skies, because blue is for Michigan summers and great times. Always enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023 Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York. All rights reserved. Labatt is a registered U.S. trademark of Labatt Brewing Company, Ltd.
This is X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
That's what that is. The grandfather clock from hell.
This is one of the greatest rock songs of all time, Anthony.
Who sings this?
This is Time by Pink Floyd.
Oh, yeah, not a Pink Floyd guy. So I have nothing to contribute on that. Welcome back here. Time. How much time is it going to take for them to get to the actual song part?
Oh, I mean, the actual song is like, well, the lyrics are still like a minute and a half away, probably.
Holy mackerel. My goodness. I didn't realize ESPN put out a top 100 for college football, very similar to what the NFL Network does with the NFL top 100 that featured Jared Goff.
Is this just D1 players, I'm assuming?
Yeah. So we've got Blake Corum in at number 7. He is the highest rated and one of only 2 Big Ten players in the top 10. The other being Marvin Harrison Jr., that is, of Ohio State. He is in at number 3. They have USC quarterback Caleb Williams. Hey, question for you real quick. Is there any way to get rid of the echo?
My bad. I had you in audition.
In the double whammy. Okay, so Caleb Williams, the quarterback, is at number 1 out of USC. Brock Bowers, tight end from Georgia, is number 2. Marvin Harrison, 3. Harold Perkins Jr., the sophomore linebacker from LSU, is number 4 as a sophomore. Drake May, the quarterback out of North Carolina, also a sophomore. He's number 5. Michael Penix Jr., the 25th-year senior quarterback out of Washington, is number 6. Blake Corum is 7. Jordan Travis, quarterback at Florida State, who is a senior, he is number 8. Jared Verse out of Florida State, he's a defensive lineman and a junior. He is number 9. Michael Williams, the defensive end/edge for Georgia, who is a sophomore, he is number 10. So I was just going to, now that I can see it, Emeka Egbuka, the wide receiver out of Ohio State, is number 13. I was going to go just try to look for, there he is, Donovan Edwards at 17. So Michigan has 2 players ranked in the top 20 of the ESPN top 100. Oh, they have 3, pardon me. Michigan offensive lineman Zach Zinter. So out of the 20 players, the top 20 players in all of college football for the year 2023, ESPN has ranked an offensive lineman and not 1 but 2 running backs from Michigan as the highest ranked players, if you will. Ken says, tell the people if you're going 75 northbound and crossing the line there into Michigan, 75 north is a parking lot. Way to start the first day of school.
That doesn't happen often.
It's been happening more and more. I catch it probably once every couple weeks. It happens because they have, for the first 10 to 12 miles of I-75 northbound in Michigan, or the last couple miles of I-75 southbound, it's a 2-lane construction, and it's a tight 2 lanes. And, it's a car breakdown. It's a flat tire. It could be a myriad of issues, but whatever it is, it screws everything up. And once you get south of South Otter Creek Road, there just really isn't a whole lot of wiggle room or Luna Pier. There's just not a lot of wiggle room to get off and make a play. The one day, it took me 3 hours to get to my house on a normal 30-minute commute. And when I got off the exit, dude, there was just semi-trucks everywhere. You couldn't get anywhere because a truck had flipped in that construction zone I was talking about, and what had happened was it spilled chemicals, and so they had to do a chemical cleanup for everybody. So that's that's the worst part about that commute, is that stretch of I don't even know how long of nonstop construction. This is Noah from Toledo. We got a text message here. Who do you want, Anthony and Dan, to win the BMW championship? I want Max Homa or Rory McIlroy. I hope you guys have a good Wednesday. BMW championship. Do you have somebody that you would like to win the BMW?
Let's see here.
Anybody in particular? That you're like,
Scotty Scheffler. He needs one. That'd be nice. Get him back in the winner's circle because he just hasn't been great.
Scotty Scheffler. There's a I could see that. That's a good pick. I would like to know, because they're at Olympia Fields this week. You know what? I think I'm gonna go with Noah. I would like to see a Max Homa or Rory McIlroy, one of those two, be able to. No offense to Harold Varner, but he's just not the big, or Lucas Glover, pardon me, but just not the biggest names. I think that what we need. It was good to see Hovland get named to Europe's Ryder Cup roster. That's good. Because, look, there might be somebody out there playing a little bit better, but we need the biggest names possible. And although, look, I like Lucas Glover seems like a fine individual, an elder statesman in the game of golf, has been doing this a long time. Awesome for him to get that
changed the putter. He changed that to that wacky putter.
What kind of putter does he have?
Well, he does have the long putter, but he has like they're like these futuristic, modern looking. They just look like a shaved piece of metal.
A big block looking
thing.
He's
like
got an
something you made.
UFO.
Somebody made their putter in metal shop. That's what it looks like.
I know exactly which one you're talking about. It's like a big block, and it's got a small little groove cut out in the back. It is
we also
atrocious looking thing.
Yes, we got a Facebook message from Jay, not Landsman, Jay Bridgman. He's not from The Wire. I have a golf question for you guys. I know it's all preference, but just curious, in your opinion, golf watch, rangefinder, or both?
So I have a buddy that has the golf watch, and that's cool. Rangefinder depends on how steady your hand is. If you're one of those people that, pulls a scope up and you got a little case of the wiggles, you know what I mean, where you're just like your hand, if you can't keep your hand still in order to gun it. I prefer personally, I like the Wingman, although the Wingman's durability is definitely questionable. Definitely questionable.
Okay, listen. I don't care who you are, you don't need the distance to the hole. Okay? You need the front, the middle, and the back. If there's a bunker, how far is it to carry the bunker? That's what you need. I don't care if the pin is 176. I want to hit it 165 so it rolls 176.
See, I'd have to hit it like 177. So it, hits the green, takes that forward bounce, and then spins back precisely 2.5 yards. Yes. I'm big on the Wingman. I do. I don't. I think, to be honest with you, I think it's more preference. Like if you play with the watch, like I used to have a Fitbit until it got ground beef in it and just blew up. But my Fitbit watch, like I always kept on, and I liked it for two reasons. One, good tan line, see how much color you're getting out there, and two, obviously keeping track of steps. I never put it into like golf mode or whatever. But if you don't mind wearing a watch when you're playing, one of the guys that plays in our golf league night, like he has that, and he's pretty good with it. I like the Wingman because it's got the multi-function of the actual hole map and kind of course layout and the speaker. So I would go with that, or something similar to that.
There's an app out there. It's free. It's called The Grint. And then GRINT. It's completely free. Keeps your handicap. Keeps your scores. It tracks anything and everything you want to put in there. How far you hit your average irons, all kinds of stuff. It's the best GPS. It tells you everything you need to know on every hole. It's fantastic.
The Grint. Okay,
yes.
There you go. That's a positive. Hopefully our friend who sent us that Facebook message will give it a download or give it a try and up his game a little bit. Lucas Glover, by the way, with the long putter. I believe it was a couple weeks ago. Dan, did you tell me that no one can win with a long putter on tour and nobody uses it? Was that you? Was that you?
It's pretty funny. I said
repent,
that.
Peasant,
and then
repent.
2 weeks in a row he wins.
I'm just saying, just throwing it out there. All right, we'll step aside. That's a great question, though. I love questions like that. By the way, you know what the odds of you actually shooting your handicap are? Like, I was watching a video on this. I'm like, man, this is a lot more involved than I think the average person knows. But we'll step aside. We'll come back. We'll get into the Tigers. Teddy B talking to the Lions media for the first time. Lots to get to here in hour number 1. Don't go anywhere. Keep it locked to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Fuel up for less with M-Perks. Earn points on your purchases when you shop at Meijer in-store and online. Then use your points to claim a fuel reward and save at the pump. Your dollar goes further at the pump with M-Perks. Plus, earn points for all qualifying purchases in the Meijer Express station. And keep a lookout for exclusive Meijer Express offers. Enter your M-Perks ID at checkout to earn. Exclusions apply. Not valid in Wisconsin. Max 30 gallons. Download the Meijer app to sign up or see Meijer.com to learn more.
Roads across the Great Lakes state can get busy. And in the summer months, those roads can get very busy. With increased traffic comes increased traffic safety concerns. The Michigan Association of Chiefs of Police would like to remind you that you share the road with other drivers and you share the responsibility with all of them. Wherever you may be going, we want you, all of you, to get there safe and sound.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The Freddy the Pizza Man Foundation is dedicated to providing support to families and Michigan schools touched by autism. We invite you to join us in supporting these families and schools by making a donation at freddythepizzaman.com. With your donation, you can help provide essential resources that can make a real impact. Visit freddythepizzaman.com to make a donation and to learn more about the foundation's mission. That's FREDI thepizzaman.com. Together, we can make a difference.
Share your thoughts all morning long on the Meyer Guest Line. Call 248-951-2176. That's 248-951-2176. Now, back to Danny, Ryan, and AB.
Rips one deep left field. That's gone! Home run! Miguel Cabrera! His second of the season. 2-0 Tigers.
He's been one of the smartest hitters in all of baseball. He got a slider that he took. The first pitch was way off the plate away. Not even a competitive pitch. And he knew he was going to get that fastball, and it was a four-seamer.
Miguel Cabrera with a blast last night. That's a Miggy milestone, a Miggy stone, if you will. He has moved up into a tie with one of my favorite players of all time, specifically because how he held the bat, the Gary Sheffield, 509 career home runs. That puts him tied for 26th on the MLB all-time leaders list. Plus, he's up to, we got Al Kaline at 399, Norm Cash at 373, and he'll be in third there with 371. And then Hank Greenberg, Hammered Hank, at 306. So good for Miguel Cabrera. It wasn't just Miggy who got involved. There was Torque too. But what I do want to do is get to the phone line, because we do have a call on the Meyer Supercenter guest line. You could join us too, 248-951-2176, 248-951-2176. Kevin in Holland is here. Good morning, Kevin. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Sorry to throw a wrench into the Tiger talk. I'm a huge Torque fan, so I should have started by saying he hit another homer and he's on pace for 25, so that's pretty awesome.
You will get to hear said homer here coming up after your call. I will play it specifically for you.
Awesome. But I wanted to call in because it kind of flew under the radar that the Wings traded for Jeff Petrie yesterday, and I mean they really gave up nothing. You know, a conditional fourth and Lindstrom for Petrie, and I think what I read yesterday is they're only paying him like $2.35 a year for the next 2 years because Pittsburgh and Montreal are pretty much picking up $4 million of that contract. So, you know, that's a pretty big pickup that I think people aren't going to realize. You know, now he can go on a second pair with Shane Gostisbehere, and the Wings have pretty much transformed their decor in an off season. So I don't want to keep too much of your time, but I'm really excited because hockey's coming up, ball's coming up. While everyone thinks football, I'm thinking hockey. So,
hey, you know what? I love that, and I like the move as well. You know what the move really signals to me, Kevin, is that this is done at such a random time, and it's kind of like done in the middle of the night. I know it happened yesterday, but it just felt like one of those random moments. Is that Steve Yzerman is not sleeping? Like he is not content with where he's at all.
This was done like 10 days ago. I heard Peaches talking about his kid getting moved, and I could just sense like he knew something.
How excited was he?
He wasn't allowed to say anything, so he kept it under wraps. Like,
yeah, but like when you looked at him, was he glowing?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So Detroit gets.
Did you guys see too? He took the other number of his dad. He's wearing the same number his dad wore for the Tigers for the Wings.
46, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so cool. Like good for him. And full details of the trade: Detroit gets Jeff Petrie. Montreal retains 50% of the remaining obligations pertaining to his contract. Detroit will pay 37.5% of the contract. They send Gustav Lindstrom and a conditional fourth-round pick in 2025 to Montreal. So they get Peaches Jr. here at an average annual value of $2.3 million for a conditional fourth. And Lindstrom, they shore up the right side of the blue line. You feel pretty good about the deal. You feel good that Yzerman is still working, like not at all resting whatsoever. being able to find some depth there. They did, Jeff, as you mentioned, did take the number of his dad, Dan. They'll both wear number 46. So very, very cool for the Petrie family and good for the Detroit Red Wings, I think, as well.
And it was pretty cool. The Canadians, they moved him because his kids are starting school and they wanted to keep his kids in the U.S. So I read that the other day too. So that's pretty honorable of the Canadian organization as well. So anyway,
very expensive
morning,
up there right now. Very, very expensive to live up there. Thanks so much for the call, Kevin. Appreciate you, man.
Have a great morning, guys. Bye.
You too, brother. Be good. There he goes. What a great move for the family. And, good on Montreal. I'm glad Kevin pointed that out about, him wanting to. That's a big part of professional athletics that we tend to forget. Not everybody's a single 22-year-old running around. Some of these guys have families, and, there's a big commitment there. Some guys, I look at, Marvin Jones Jr., for example, from the Lions. His family's in San Diego. And his wife, Jasmine, told me, she's like, this year I'm going to try to make every game, home and the road. I said, home and the road. She's like, yeah. And my kids, they need to understand, paraphrasing, that, he might not be doing this a whole lot longer. And so we need to cherish these moments. And I was like, well, isn't that nice of you? God bless her. Hey, by the way, it's August already, which means golf season is coming to a close, which means that you are running out of time. But one great thing you could still do is you could still log onto your computer, visit TullymoreGolf.com, pick up your telephone, call 1-800-972-4837. That's 1-800-972-4837, and book your stay and play at Tullymore Golf Resort. They're in Canadian Lakes. It's an hour north of Grand Rapids, just 30 minutes west of Mount Pleasant, and it is the perfect destination for you, especially now at the end of the season. The colors are going to be out there. And to be honest with you, if your wife or girlfriend or whomever doesn't play but wants to hang out with you and wants to go on one of the golf trips, that's a really good idea for the fall because, like I just said, pretty colors on the trees. And she can be like, oh, this is what a golf trip looks like when you and the boys go? Like, yeah. You could just take her and you could stay right there on the grounds, and it's a win-win for everybody. Let's get back into a little Tigers baseball. Speaking of Peaches, very happy for our friend. Maybe we can get Peaches on the airwaves with us.
Get the whole fam on.
Yeah, just discuss everything. But, obviously with his kid flipping his number and just the whole thing, I think that's pretty special. In a much different sport than baseball as well. As I was mentioning, Miguel Cabrera, it was a milestone night.
Isn't he? The 1-0 swinging a fly ball left field. This one's deep. This one's way back. And that ball is gone. A home run. Whoa, he put a charge into it. Absolutely crushed a fastball deep into left center field. Second of the year. Draws the arrow out of the quiver. Shoots it into the home dugout on the third base side. 2-run shot, 2-0 Tigers.
Is that what arrows are stashed in, as a quiver?
Yes.
Did I just learn something from the great Dan Dickerson?
Probably. Yeah.
I mean, look, I'm not surprised by it, but I did not know that the arrow holder, think Robin Hood, when you reach back and snag the arrow, I did not know that was a quiver. Archery, man, something I've never really done. Have you ever, I've never sat there and had somebody be like, hey, here's 20 arrows. Have at it. Pistols, rifles, shotguns, absolutely.
As a child, I shot nothing crazy, but definitely shot some bow and arrows. And my brother is a hunter, so I've drawn his back, but that's about it.
Yeah, I've never done it. I feel like that would be a good skill to know, to become accurate with a bow. Oh, it's wild. Anyways, that's the thing. Can you imagine riding on horseback while firing a bow and arrow and doing it accurately?
Imagine, and
you know how strong your thighs would have to be?
Dude, they're rocks. You would your legs would be just jacked if you had that ability.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, or that, and your horse is like, you've obviously spent some time and have a connection with the animal because it knows what's going on and what it needs to do. And I just saw an ad on the back of on one of the walls. I wanted what baseball stadium was that I just saw? It said Choctaw Casino. I guess I could look up what tribe and where that's located at. But that's what made me think of, like, dude, you see anybody riding a horse firing a bow and arrow? Like,
that seems like Arizona to me, if I had to bet, just based on, like, they have Talking Stick Casino and Resort Arena is where they play, where Phoenix plays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is correct. Spencer Torkelson, and this one goes out to Kevin and GR, who just called to talk about the Petrie trade because his man Tork hit another bomb, so why not?
3-2, swinging a high fly ball left center field. This one's way back and gone, a home run. Spencer Torkelson gave it a ride.
Wait a minute, that wasn't the one from last night. All we have is the Miguel Cabrera one up from last night. I'm sorry, but that's still a good home run from Spencer Torkelson. Like, I'll still most definitely take it. I'm not gonna lie. Last night it was 2-0. Miggy hit number 509. Everybody's feeling good about things. We got 5 innings from Faedo of one-hit baseball against the divisional leader. I had a lot to feel good about. Cisnero did not record an out in the ball game. 2 hits, a walk, and 3 earned runs against him. That was a mess. Will Vest came in, got 2 outs, but gave up 2 hits and 2 earned runs, including a home run. That was a mess. And I saw in the broadcast last night, they were talking about this, is that the Tigers are, top 5 in Major League Baseball as far as innings pitched by the bullpen? Because we just refuse. Like, if Faedo goes 5 innings, right, by the time I got home and flipped it on, Faedo's coming out, Cisnero's coming in. And my question is this. If you got 5 innings and you've struck out 6, you've only walked 1, you've given up 1 hit, you've thrown 81 pitches. Why can't we go just a little bit longer? You're averaging 16 pitches an inning. Like, that's really not bad. Like, why can't we just try to extend, like, when the starter rolls out of that dugout, right? They do the anthem or whatever, and they go back in the dugout, and it's like, hey, grab your gloves, and you're getting ready, you're running up the stairs. Don't you think that the starter at that point in time should know, I'm going at least 6 2/3? I got to hit 7 innings. I'm not asking for a complete game shutout no-hitter every single night, obviously. I'm not asking for a complete game every night. Because if you get knocked around a little bit in the early innings, your pitch count goes up. Okay, I can understand managing a pitch count. No problem with that whatsoever. And is 16 pitches, is that too high per inning? Is it?
Because that's like right where you're supposed to be.
That's what I felt like. And if you make it 7 innings, you're at 112 pitches. Like, why do I feel like if our starter isn't out before the 6th inning? Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like every night, like if you could place wagers on that, you'd be killing right now. Like, what inning will the Detroit Tigers, will they over under innings pitched by Detroit starter? If they left that line at 6, you would cash in the under more times than not. And I just don't understand. And if someone could explain it to me, that would help me. But no one seems to be able to explain this to me as to why we can't throw a guy for what feels like more than 5 innings every night. Like, it's so, I can't be the only one that's aggravated by this, because I've heard Dan in the studio talk about this multiple times.
Well, yeah, but it's not, we can't expect every guy to go out there and give you 6+. But
why not?
Well,
you only pitch once every 5 days.
Right, no, I'm not saying like every time. Like, sure, every 2 out of 3 times you're saying, can you get me 6? But, sometimes you get beat up. The Tigers right now are extremely cautious with all of their pitching.
Because that's worked out really well.
Trust me, I know.
Mr. Dan, we got to take care of the pitcher arms. Don't pitch them too much. Pitch counts. Get them out of there early. They've pitched an inning. Pull them. We got to save the arms.
We see who's probably the most cautious team in baseball with their arms. The Rays. Tyler Glasnow. Tommy John. Shane McClanahan. Tommy John. It doesn't matter. Let them throw the ball. They're going to get hurt.
Throw the ball. Just throw the ball. A lot. And hard. It does drive me bonkers to watch this. It's like, 5 innings. Like, congratulations. You play once every 5 days and you barely made it to 50% of the game. Like, you're not going to hit. That's the best job in the world. Imagine getting paid millions of dollars to go out there and work once every 5 days and then not have to participate in the other portion of the game, which is hitting, which I think is a crime. Get rid of the DH. Make pitchers answer the bell. And then not only that, but you only last for half of the required time. You have 1 8-hour shift every 5 days. And you go out there and you give me 4 hours. I'd throw my arm off for that kind of money. Are you kidding me? It wasn't great. The 5-run 6th inning off the grand salami. That really took the wind out of the sails, if you will. 450-foot grand slam, by the way, from Matt Wallner. Just beat the brakes off that ball. Cabrera, obviously with the milestone. Tigers lose their second in a row. Could have had it, should have had it, did not win it. Cabrera, 2 home runs behind Mel Ott for 25th all-time. He's got 1,867 RBI, one behind Ott, and a tie for 11th in MLB history. He passed, 20th on the all-time hit list last week in Detroit. So congratulations to Miggy's milestones. Only 2 home runs this season. It has been a drastic difference. The fall off has just been. He's still a great hitter, but that loss of power there has been just. My goodness.
He can't move. He can't transfer his weight, is what it seems like. He still has the swing, but he doesn't have a right knee. He cannot put an. So. Everything that he does is off his front foot. So, I mean, that's why you see him like, Anthony, I'm sure you've played a game of slow pitch softball before. That's how when you are trying to push it to right field, you put all your weight on your front foot and you just flick it out there. And that's exactly what Miggy does every single time. Yesterday, he caught one in front and it went far.
Flick it out there, baby. A bantamweight title for the belt going down. UFC 292, Aljamain Sterling, Sean O'Malley. They're going to fight this Saturday. Will the current champ be able to keep his crown, or is it the challenger's time to shine? Get your bets in on the DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the UFC. New customers can bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets instantly by downloading the DraftKings Sportsbook app and signing up using the promo code HUGE. Now, if you or somebody knows a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline, 800-270-7117. 21 plus Michigan only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions do apply. See terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/MMA terms. Hour 2 next. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Fuel up for less with M-Perks. Earn points on your purchases when you shop at Meijer in-store and online. Then use your points to claim a fuel reward and save at the pump. Your dollar goes further at the pump with M-Perks. Plus, earn points for all qualifying purchases in the Meijer Express station. And keep a lookout for exclusive Meijer Express offers. Enter your M-Perks ID at checkout to earn. Exclusions apply. Not valid in Wisconsin. Max 30 gallons. Download the Meijer app to sign up or see Meijer.com to learn more.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. It's Duck, Duck, Duck. Every Friday in August, win your share of $60 grand in premium play. Drawings each week from 7 to 11 p.m. And lucky guests every hour win up to $3,000 premium play. You won't want to miss $60,000 Duck, Duck, Duck. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Hey, this is Matt Shepard from the Michigan Sports Network. I love summers in Michigan because it means golf season. Now, two things always when I go golfing. I make sure I got my sticks, and I've got plenty of cold, fresh Labatt Blue Light. Whether I've just squeezed in 18 holes or I just want to relax on the patio after a long day, everywhere I go, and I'm serious when I tell you this, I tell people about the smooth, genuine taste of Labatt Blue Light. It's just a great beer. Michigan Sports Network is giving you a chance to win a foursome to Michigan's best courses. Just listen weekdays to the Huge Show and X's and Bros, or just text golf to 21,000 to enter. That's golf to 21,000. The trip includes 2 overnight stays and 2 rounds of golf, all brought to you by my friends at Labatt Blue Light. So grab a Labatt Blue Light the next time you head out onto the course and enjoy the blue skies, because blue is for Michigan summers and great times. Always enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023 Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York. All rights reserved. Labatt is a registered U.S. trademark of Labatt Brewing Company, Ltd.
The Freddie the Pizza Man Foundation is dedicated to providing support to families and Michigan schools touched by autism. We invite you to join us in supporting these families and schools by making a donation at FreddieThePizzaMan.com. With your donation, you can help provide essential resources that can make a real impact. Visit FreddieThePizzaMan.com to make a donation and to learn more about the foundation's mission. That's FREDI, Together, we can make a difference.
Huge here for all the Mr. Car Wash locations across Michigan. You're going to want to look into that unlimited monthly pass that I use. Superfly Hayes, my producer, uses it. I can get my SUV washed as often as I like for one low price. You can sign up today. Just go to MrCarWash.com or stop by your local Mr. Car Wash location here in Michigan for the one close to you. And to get that unlimited pass, go to MrCarWash.com.
Good morning, everyone.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
It's a good morning. Wake up to a brand new day.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Vietnam.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Welcome back here. Hour number 2 on this Wednesday. It's Hump Day, the 16th day of August, 2023. Great to have you riding along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio and worldwide on the iHeartRadio app. We say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you. Join the program at any time. You can text the keyword Sports Radio. Send that to 21,000. Sports Radio to 21000. Meyer Supercenter guest line 248-951-2176. 248-951-2176. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros. And, of course, good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN and on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. You can add a .com to that to find our website. xbmornings@gmail.com is our fan feedback email inbox. And you can find us all individually on Twitter. Danny Cahalan is at Dan in the studio. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key. And I'm Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. Dan and I here. Ryan working extra super remote again today. I would assume he'll be that'll be the rest of the week from him, but appreciate his hard work while being out of the office, still getting the job done, grinding away. So we very much appreciate that from the pride of Michigan State fandom. By the way, our show was referenced on a On3 recruiting web stream. Somebody covering Michigan State. I don't know. It got sent to me via Snapchat, and it was like, look at X's and Bros getting some love. And I was like, who is this guy? And what is this broadcast you speak of? Text message that came in. You can text the keyword Sports Radio, send it to 21,000. Then that BS error between Verling and Haas cost me a dime. Well, is it a BS error? Yeah, it's unfortunate that happened. But at the same time, as Craig Monroe was saying on the broadcast, it was that time of night where lights are kicking on and you could just lose a ball. And that was a ball that was right there, probably, 10, 12 paces from home plate, maybe 10 to 12 strides is a better way to say it. It was up in the air. It's
just one of those very in-betweeners that it's like...
You got it, I got it, you got it?
Well, yeah, plus it's, the catcher is like, okay, I'm going to be having to run full speed to get to this in my catcher's gear. My third baseman should be able to be a little quicker than me. So Haas let up because he was like, oh, Veerling's closer, and then it fell in between them.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's tough because Haas, technically, he's the catcher, so it would be his first. But that's just an easier play for the third baseman.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Like those kind of plays, you could see it on Haas's face too. He kind of, hands on the knees, and you could tell that he was, I wouldn't say distraught, but he knew that they missed out on an easy opportunity there. And those are the kinds of plays that you have to make. And if you're going to, win the ball game, it's been one of those kinds of years for the Detroit Tigers. And had they been able to win that game last night, it to be honest with you, it doesn't really matter, does it? Like, we could just call it what it is. They're not going to, they're not going to go to the playoffs. So what are we, I wouldn't be too worked up. You want to see them win. If they don't, it kind of is what it is. Like, they're not, I don't know, man. It's not like they're fighting for some sort of, berth at this point. So I'm not gonna lose sleep over the loss there. I'm just not. Twins, by the way, beating the Tigers last night 5-3 on another Miguel Cabrera milestone night. You think that's it, by the way, for Miggy?
after that one, I don't know. He might have a couple more.
You think?
There's like 40 more games? No.
So he's got 2 right now.
Probably 38 games or something left.
Yeah, they've played, what is that? They're 53 and 66 right now. And he's got 2 home runs throughout the time. They've played 119. So just mathematically speaking, like, is it possible? Yeah. 43 more games to go. It's possibility versus probability, right? I mean, that's what it comes down to. And I don't know if I foresee that happening. By the way, also what is taking place today, Michigan State is going to vote today on alcohol sales at games. Despite what other radio hosts have said, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't think that we are going to see college kids spending massive amounts of dollars on beers inside the stadium. This is more for like when, Mr. Elke, or Ryan's dad, goes to the game with Ryan and they have their father-son moment, and they get up there and they have a beer together. That's what this is. Nobody wants to pay 10, 12, 15 bucks for a beer. This isn't going to be, and some of the arguments for is, well, if you're selling alcohol in the stadium, that's going to stop people from pre-gaming. No, it's not. You're going to see fireball shooters all over the place. It's the reality of the situation. The kids can't afford to drink like that. You want to pay $12 for a beer, or do you want to pay $12 for the cheapest fifth of vodka that you can find and tailgate with it? You mix it in with, you take a half gallon of vodka, you take 30 beers, whatever light beer you want, and a couple pink lemonade concentrates.
Moon Mist and 5 o'clock.
That sounds, I gave you the recipe for pink panty droppers. You gave me Moon Mist and 5 o'clock vodka.
That was it when we were young.
Moon Mist. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's what the kids are going to do. I don't see this being some sort of unruly, lawless, just absolute chaos that you got to call the National Guard in because Michigan's playing Michigan State on a night game. I didn't see it last year when we hosted our tailgate for the Michigan Sports Network and when we had former Michigan State players at the tailgate. There was, Michigan, our good friends at Blue by 90, Justin Rowe, they were the ones that connected us with the space. It's a ton of Michigan fans. We brought in our dysfunctional cousins from Michigan State, right? And we all, had food and had drinks and had laughs and had a great time. And there was literally nothing wrong. This incredibly dangerous rhetoric and propaganda that all of a sudden, because Michigan State or Michigan is going to sell $12 to $15 light beers, is just, I think that's preposterous. And I also will say this. If you're one of those people that can't drink without getting crazy, you probably shouldn't do it. If you can't have a couple cocktails and enjoy your meal without wanting to flip the table over and fight everybody in the room, maybe alcohol isn't for you. And you can enjoy the game other ways. But it's definitely not a necessity. I know that, once you get to college, there's a lot of peer pressure, the hazing that comes along with it. That can lead to tragedy. We saw that at my alma mater very, very recently, where a drinking and hazing event took place and the young fella died. And it's like, look, just be responsible. I remember my first beer. That's the old saying. You know how to handle yourself. You know how to act. I really don't. I think that also from a societal standpoint, we view alcohol a little bit different. Like when you go to Europe and you see 14-year-olds that are sitting down at dinner and they're having a glass of wine with their parents, alcohol isn't built up to be this big deal. So they don't really care. Russian kids, probably not a great example, but Russian kids drink vodka at an early age. Italian children drink wine at an early age. It's not a big deal because it's a part of their culture. Ours, we put such a stigma around it. It's like, I got to get booze, and then you drink booze, and then you act like an idiot. It's like that's a bad mix. Have a couple cocktails, relax. You can have a couple. It's not that serious. The alcohol sales are only going to produce more revenue for the school. Are we going to have some kids that are going to get out of hand? It's going to be highlighted. You're going to read op-ed pieces in the papers. Absolutely, because that's going to happen anytime there's a new rule put in place or anytime anything happens that somebody doesn't like. But at the end of the day, I just don't think it's that serious. So hopefully they vote yes, so Ryan and his dad can have a beer together in East Lansing. We'll step aside. Back with more X's and Bros after this here on the Michigan Sports Network.
There are 13 folds that bring the American flag to the iconic shape of freedom. This summer, Folds of Honor and Budweiser celebrate 13 years of changing military and first responder lives together. Service never stops, and neither will we. So join me in raising a Budweiser to raise funds for Folds of Honor.
Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Huge here for Matt Golden and his team at the Tullymore Golf Resort in Canadian Lakes, Michigan. They just got exciting news. Tullymore, once again, has been ranked as one of America's top 100 greatest public golf courses by Golf Digest. Number 73 in America. And you can experience Tullymore. If you've never played before, you need to get up there. There's the Tullymore Golf Course, St. Ives, 36 holes, great stay and play accommodations. Or if you just want to book a tee time, Tullymore is less than an hour north of GR. Go to tullymoregolf.com. That is tullymoregolf.com. You can book a tee time for this summer, stay and play package throughout the end of the year, or even look ahead to 2024. Go to tullymoregolf.com. That's tullymoregolf.com. And congrats to everybody at Tullymore for being named one of America's top 100 greatest public golf courses by Golf Digest.
In 2022, 5,773 people were seriously injured in crashes on Michigan's roads. 1,123 of those people didn't survive. The Michigan Association of Chiefs of Police reminds you that traffic safety matters to everyone all of the time. In the summer months, Michigan's roads are even busier. More traffic means more risk, but you also have more opportunity to do the right thing. Get to where you're going and do your part so everyone else does too.
presidents to represent me. I'm out for presidents to represent me. I'm out for presidents to represent me. I'm out for every presidents to represent me.
You're listening to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Can't call in? Text us using the keyword sports radio and send it to 21000 or tweet us at XB Mornings. Now back to Danny Cahalan, Ryan Elke, and Anthony Bellino.
Hey, folks, golf season is coming to a close. Man, I can't believe it's already mid-August. We'll be able to play probably through September, hopefully, through October. But, the temperatures changed a little bit. A little cold yesterday. Don't know where you were at, but we saw temperatures high 60s, low 70s. Seasons are changing, which means it's time for you to change up your routine and head on over to Tullymore Golf Resort in Canadian Lakes, Michigan, offering not one but two championship courses. Tullymore and St. Ives, located about an hour north of Grand Rapids, 30 minutes west of Mount Pleasant. Which means it's smack dab in the middle of the state and easy to get to no matter what direction you are driving from. Tullymore not only features top-line experiences, but also top-line accommodations and the perfect space for your wedding event, reception, or group outing. Visit TullymoreGolf.com, TullymoreGolf.com, or call 1-800-972-4837. That's 1-800-972-4837. Book your stay and play at Tullymore today. Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. It's Hour 2. It's Segment 2, which means it's time for a little Detroit Lions trivia. Pew, 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 pew. All right. The last three players to wear uniform number 20 for the Lions are three of the all-time greats in club history. Can you name the three players that wore 20?
Sanders, Sims, Barney.
Bing bong.
Actually, just so random. I just saw Lem Barney walk. I cannot remember where. We were at a restaurant or something, and I was just like, "Honey, that was Lem Barney." Just walked by.
Oh, you dropped the honey in there.
Well, yes,
Ooh.
to my girlfriend.
Oh, honey. Holla at your boy. Lem Barney from 1967 to 1977. Billy Sims from 1980 until 1984. And then the one and only Barry Sanders, 1989 to 1998. We'll have an 8-foot statue outside of Gate B. Looking forward to the release of that coming up before our home opener. Not open to the public. Be there for the media. And we'll get into the game against the Seahawks the day after. So that'll be very exciting. I think it's on Saturday the 16th, if I'm not mistaken. That doesn't sound right. Wait a minute now. Timeout.
That might be right. Somewhere around there. 7th, 6th, 17th.
Yeah, because we play the 7th and the 17th, so we have like 10 days off because we open the season on Thursday Night Football. And I won't be able to. I don't think I'll be able to go to the Barry thing because I have Michigan football that night.
Well, so it's a closed event. I don't know if you're allowed, Anthony. Are you hosting?
What do you mean, not allowed?
It's literally like a closed event, according to the release.
Right, and who would it be open to?
The
media. The media.
All right.
Who am I? I'll walk in there and be like, free T-shirt, Barry. Little sidearm slinger out there like Stafford. I almost had to give myself Thomas Johnson surgery on the sidelines after last week. Your boy was getting a little crazy with the T-shirts. I got to settle down this Saturday. I don't need to try, although I do want to hit the club level. So it's a long throw with a T-shirt. You know that video of the girl who throws the T-shirt up into the upper deck in the NBA arena?
Yeah, she's just got a cannon.
Absolute cannon for an arm, right? What's in the T-shirt is what I want to know. And if not, it's a really, really well-rolled T-shirt. There's a specific way to roll it so you can kind of make it into a ball. But for me to hit the upper deck, I mean, we're talking about...
Yeah, you got to have like a tennis ball in there or something. Even more dense than that.
Maybe a brick. I don't know. But regardless, it's hitting the upper deck at a football stadium is a little bit different. It's a long ways away. But, I might give it a shot. This week. The problem is you can't hang one over the ledge. So if you're gonna gun it, you gotta you got to toss this. One of the things they told us in minor leagues, like if you're going to throw to the, like don't throw to the upper deck. Like unless you have the arm to do it, don't do it. Because if you hang one over and somebody tries to reach and goes for it, there's a ledge there. You know, just one of those things. It's one of the things we have to be aware of, and you know, you should be aware of if you're going to be chucking tees. All right, so it was announced that for week 1 of the NFL football season, highly touted first-round pick Anthony Richardson will be named as the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. The 4th overall pick will be the starter, and this comes just days after Richardson's debut against the Buffalo Bills. He said he was shocked by the news. Gardner Minshew, the vet, is who he has been in competition with for that starting nod. Richardson did throw an early pick but bounced back well, 7 of 12, 67 yards in 1 quarter of action. I will say this. At least if there's one franchise that can do this, and do this maybe correctly, it's the Indianapolis Colts, because I don't know if you remember way back when, Peyton Manning's first season with the Colts was an absolute disaster. Peyton Manning's rookie year, he might have thrown 20 interceptions. And so the Colts have been through this before. They are equipped from a fan base perspective to be able to show the patience necessary when starting a rookie quarterback. Now, I know that some people are going to bring up our favorite team to talk about that's not the Lions, which would be the New York Jets. And they might say, well, Anthony, how could you be so pro Anthony Richardson, but so anti Zach Wilson? Well, we had 13 games from Zach Wilson in 2021. We had 9 starts from him in 2022. He's got a record of 8-4, right? So playing just over in 22 games, playing just over a full regular season. He has 15 touchdowns, 18 interceptions, but his completion percentage is at 55%, and you have to be able to complete 60% or above. That's kind of like the benchmark, if you will, of NFL quarterback play. That and the fact that I really wasn't a huge fan of the Jets' selection of Zach Wilson where he was picked at. So for me, it's kind of a non-starter because I didn't like the selection. And I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, well, it's a great pick. Like, it's not a great pick. Like, the guy was selected, and I'm convinced it's because they saw him running around with somebody in a broomstick chasing him in his pro day. Now, I know Malik Willis also, a lot of people, some people, one person that I know of, a very vocal voice on this program, wanted Malik Antonio Willis at number 2 to the Lions. Malik Willis has played, started 3 games, appeared in 8. He completes 50.8% of his passes. No touchdowns, 3 picks. If you're going to do this. Now, Tennessee is a little bit of an outlier. The Jets are much better this year than they have been in years past. I'll give you that. But they had the offensive and defensive rookie of the year last year. Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson. I really like Garrett Wilson. I think he's going to be a hell of a player. I don't think that's not anything. That's not a hot take by any stretch of the imagination. But what we saw from him and heard from him in Hard Knocks, I think that's going to bode really well for this team. I like Sauce, too, and I like the fact that he and Aaron Rodgers get along, and Aaron Rodgers is having such a great time off the mushroom sauce here in New York. Good for him. Did I believe that Malik Willis was going to be some crazy player? No, but if you're going to start a rookie quarterback, Malik Willis is in the best position because he has the run game. Right? When you send somebody out there, and the Jets have done this multiple times now in the last decade, they just keep drafting quarterbacks. It just keeps not working until they get to the free agency market and then pay for one, a proven one, a Hall of Famer and 4-time MVP in Aaron Rodgers. They did it with Sam Darnold. The rest of their team was not ready to compete. And the last thing I want to do is draft a kid, bring him in here out of college, especially schools like BYU and Liberty. No offense. I'm a little bit more bullish on Bryce Young because at least he played top-level competition, and the expectation was there and basically had to perform like a pro throughout his time. But if you're going to start a rookie, you better have a good team built around him, because if not, it's going to be the same old song. Let's step aside when we return. Adam Rittenberg will join us next from ESPN here on X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Bill Simonson here for my good friend Josh Garvey. He is a managing partner at Br0's, soon to be Dorn Mayhew, and they'll be stronger together. And did you know Br0 can help your business with outsourcing your payroll and other business needs? That can help ease tax filing and year-end reporting, compliance reporting, human resources management, time and attendance tracking, and more. Just go to Br0.com to find out more how they can help your payroll system and make your workplace that much smoother. Go to Br0.com. That's BEENEGARTR.com, and they can help you with all your payroll needs. Like I mentioned, tax filing and year-end reporting, compliance reporting, human resources management, time and attendance tracking, and more. All your payroll needs can be handled by the team at Br0. Find out more at Br0.com.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The Freddie the Pizza Man Foundation is dedicated to providing support to families and Michigan schools touched by autism. We invite you to join us in supporting these families and schools by making a donation at FreddyThePizzaMan.com. With your donation, you can help provide essential resources that can make a real impact. Visit FreddyThePizzaMan.com to make a donation and to learn more about the foundation's mission. That's FREDI, thepizzaman.com. Together, we can make a difference.
From Traverse City to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, you're listening to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Danny Galen, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Join us now, senior writer for college football on ESPN. His name, Adam Rittenberg, our good friend. You can find him on Twitter at ESPN Rittenberg. Adam, good morning to you, my friend. How are you? How's life? How are things, partner?
Oh, doing well. Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, always a pleasure to have you on. It's got to be like, this has got to be one of the craziest off seasons that you can remember, at least in recent memory, right? Because of all the news that's surrounding the off-the-field stuff. Let's first start in Chicago. Let's go to Northwestern. What is the latest from the Northwestern football team? Because it feels like, okay, Pat Fitzgerald is let go. There's lawsuits filed. There are kids that are decommitting. There are kids that are entering the transfer portal. They have an interim head coach like this. What is actually taking, what's the status of Northwestern football right now?
Well, it actually has calmed down in terms of the transactional things. The 30-day window after Pat Fitzgerald's firing is over, and had a relatively small number of players actually enter the portal. Most of them were incoming freshmen that were, pretty good recruits who ended up at programs like Ohio State and Auburn. They have not had anybody else disciplined, players or assistant coaches, although one of their assistant coaches, Matt McPherson, is under investigation by the university after being mentioned in some of the lawsuits by former players, yet he's still coaching as far as I know. I'll be up there today. They'll have some media availability, but essentially they're trying to just get ready for the season at this point. They open on September 3rd at Rutgers, and there's certainly been a pretty horrible summer up there, but at this point, there will be more lawsuits, obviously. But as far as the current team, they're on track to open their season. It's certainly been, just a very difficult time, and not just for that team, but the whole program. And there's still a lot of people that are upset with the way it was handled. Just how quickly it led to the firing of Pat Fitzgerald.
Yeah, it's a like a whirlwind for Northwestern. And then we got more news from another Big Ten team and their Big 12 rival component. They're in Iowa. Both Iowa and Iowa State had players charged in a sports betting investigation in which some Iowa players were actually smashing the under on Iowa football games, which, I mean, I'll be honest with you, that's the right thing to do. Whatever the total points is, and it's Iowa football last year, you hit the under. I mean, damn, they'd be lucky to score double digits in any game. But this is a big mess for both of those institutions. And maybe looking at it from 30,000 feet, is this a larger challenge now for college athletics moving forward with the implementation of legal sports gambling in X amount of states throughout the country?
No doubt. I think anyone who thinks that this is going to be confined to the state of Iowa is deluding themselves. And I think normally if you didn't have realignment, if you didn't have the Northwestern hazing scandal, this would be the number one story in college athletics because, as you said, you've had players charged by the state investigators with falsifying who they were in gambling, but also gambling on events that they participated in. I mean, when looking at some of the affidavits that came out last week from a couple of counties in Iowa with these charges, you're seeing 8-10 games that were wagered on in which these players participated in. Now, it doesn't appear that those games in the eyes of the state investigators had been compromised, by the way that those players played in those games. But it's still really concerning because, as you said, Iowa's hardly the only state that has legalized wagering. It's very easy to wager. All these athletes are accused of essentially wagering under other names, whether it's their parents, whether it was a fiance in one case, someone who was over 21. So essentially falsifying who they were to be allowed to wager because they were under 21. And then there's also the component of wagering on events that Iowa or Iowa State teams participated in, and in some cases their direct football teams participated in. So this is something that is far from over. We'll see which other state gaming commissions and so forth launch these type of investigations. But I'd be very surprised if it's just Iowa and Iowa State players we're talking about in the next few months.
Boy, I'll tell you what, we would be very fortunate if it was, though, because the broader that this goes, I mean, we've seen this happen at the NFL level with players that have wagered and that have been suspended for a year long. We're dealing with it with Jamison Williams on a 6-game suspension. We've had staffers in NFL offices get canned for sports betting. Just don't bet on it, right? That's what they say. Don't bet on it. Now, another off-the-field story, this one closer to my home in my own backyard here with the Michigan football team. Jim Harbaugh declining to publicly comment on the case. It has been going on now, this investigation for violations that occurred during the COVID-19 dead period. The allegations include a potential level 1 violation for failing to cooperate with NCAA enforcement staff, as well as 4 level 2 violations. Adam, do we know what the level 2 violations are? And all the talk around here is like a cheeseburger or something. And then you have you can't contact people, and some video meeting that took place where kids were doing push-ups in gyms. So I have no idea. I can't keep up with it. So that's why I'm like, I got to ask Adam, what is going on here with Jim Harbaugh and the suspension that is now not a suspension for 4 games?
Right. So yeah, the level 2 violations are basically just impermissible contact during the COVID-19 dead period. And you can certainly wring your hands and say, oh, it's cheeseburger or whatever it was. But like those rules did apply to everybody. And so, whether it was something minor or some real contact that could be seen as an advantage, Michigan's accused of those things. Now, the level 1 violation is a different story. That's something where the NCAA takes it very seriously when you don't cooperate with them, when you maybe mislead them, say that you don't remember something that you should have remembered. And that's what's gotten Jim Harbaugh in particular in some hot water. Now, what happened over the weekend was it appeared that the two sides had reached, a negotiated resolution, an NR, and that would result in, a 4-game suspension to begin the season. Now that's off the table, which means that this will go to a full committee on infractions hearing and process, which probably won't happen until 2024, which is good news for Michigan in the sense that Jim will be on the sidelines for every game this year, but it also, in the long run, could mean a stiffer penalty. I mean, this is something that, when I first heard about it, 6 games was brought up as a likely penalty, and maybe that's the case when the committee is through with this. The NCAA issued a statement over the weekend, which is very unusual for a pending infractions case, pointing out that it was not about a cheeseburger. That was almost stunning to see the NCAA use that type of language. So they're clearly upset with how this has been covered or presented from Harbaugh and Michigan's side, and they're obviously taking it pretty seriously, but will not actually adjudicate, it seems, until after the season.
And with that, I have to ask you this, because with so much in the air and so much in question over what took place here, and now the fact that they are not going to suspend him for this 4 games, if he is lawyered up, which Jim Harbaugh is definitely, he has legal representation at this point, how in the world is the NCAA going to try to enforce whatever, like, misleading or not being truthful if he just says, hey, look, I don't remember? Like, how is the NCAA supposed to prove and have this stick to Jim Harbaugh?
Well, again, it's their investigators who did the investigate. We don't know exactly what was said or not said in those meetings, but the fact that he's been charged with this, means that I think that those folks do feel strongly that he could have been more cooperative or did mislead them in some of the things he said. And so, again, it's their hearing. It's an NCAA hearing with committee members that are part of that organization, or in the different schools, I should say, in that organization. So I think Jim Harbaugh is looking at a suspension. I mean, like it's just a matter of how long. I think the interesting thing, kind of bigger picture, is you're talking about a coach who's interviewed with NFL teams each of the last 2 off seasons, who a lot of people around him still very much wants to return to the NFL. And so if he gets through this season, won't be suspended. Maybe he's coaching, name an NFL team next year, and this is kind of a moot point. But if he is back at Michigan in 2024, I think he's looking at some type of significant suspension.
Oh boy, that's not what we want to see. Getting drug out like this, that's bad news. All right, now to the actual football, right? We'll talk plenty about Michigan here on the program, plenty about Ohio State. I do have to ask you, though, should more people be paying attention to Wisconsin once we finally get on the field? Why do I feel somewhat concerned about the Wisconsin Badgers and what they might have brewing up there in Madison?
Well, I think you should be intrigued at the very least by what's happening there, because they're installing an offense unlike anything they've ever had. It's a true air raid with Phil Longo coming in from North Carolina. And to think of Wisconsin running the air raid tempo, 4 wides at times, passing the ball as significantly as they plan to. And they obviously added a lot of transfers over the offseason. And the fact that Luke Fickell's their head coach. I mean, he was one of the most coveted coaches in the country the last couple of years. Led Cincinnati to the college football playoff back in 2021. It was a candidate for USC and Oklahoma and all these other jobs. A lot of people think that if Cincinnati hadn't made the playoff that year, he'd already be the head coach at Notre Dame instead of his former assistant, Marcus Freeman. So it was a big-time hire for Wisconsin. It was a hire that was made with getting to the expanded CFP in mind. I do think some of the adjustments this year and going to such a dramatically different offense, and I'll have a story about this coming out soon on ESPN.com, it's going to lead to some growing pains, some adjustments, and a transition. And so I don't think Wisconsin's going to challenge for the Big Ten title this year, but it's a tricky team because you catch them on the wrong day. And I know Ohio State has to go up there, I think, in late October. They could find it and be very, very difficult to beat. But I think it's going to take a little bit of time for Luke to get his recruiting and his schematics in place to truly challenge Michigan and Ohio State.
I mean, Luke Fickell hosting his former team as the head coach of the Wisconsin Badgers. That place is going to be a nut house, pun intended there for the Buckeyes. Also, Adam, did you hit us with a tease right there? You got an article coming soon on the Badgers, you say?
Well, really on the Big Ten offenses, I think you look at both Wisconsin and Purdue are installing true air raids. And, this is a system that I think in part has come into the Big Ten, but really not fully the way it will be in 2023. And I think, again, Big Ten offenses have not really kept up nationally. Ohio State has. I think Michigan's starting to. But if you look at, kind of the national landscape since the Big Ten last won a championship, the offenses haven't been up there in many of the top 25 categories. Defenses have, but then you look at that and say, well, are they only there mainly because they're facing these weak Big Ten offenses? And I think that the league's offensive landscape is certainly changing with what's going on at Wisconsin in particular, Purdue as well. But then, I think Maryland's going to have a heck of an offense this year. Obviously, Ohio State and Michigan. I think Penn State could be better offensively with a higher caliber quarterback potentially in Drew Aller. So I think the landscape in the Big Ten on offense is certainly starting to change and possibly overdue, given what's gone on in the national rankings.
Last one here for you, Adam. Me being a Michigan employee, me being a fan of the Maize and Blue, there's a Wolverines helmet on my desk. I like to preface that by saying that, yes, I do lean one direction. However, we are fair and honest and balanced on this program. Why do and am I right to feel this way, that I still almost don't even believe when people have Michigan ranked higher than Ohio State? I know we beat them 2 years in a row. We obviously, because I was out there making tackles. I know that Michigan has appeared in 2 college football playoffs in which they haven't looked great in either one. In that semifinal game, whether Georgia or TCU, both were a disaster. But I still am a little weary here of Michigan being ranked higher than Ohio State. Is that okay for me to feel that way?
Yeah, it's okay. I think it's less justified this year than the last couple years, given what's happened on the field and who's returning for Michigan. I mean, Michigan's got a established quarterback returning. They have the best running back tandem in the country. They have some really good receivers and offensive linemen and defensive players. And so I think, it's more justified than it's been in a long time to see Michigan at 2 and Ohio State at 3. But I think we both know if you're going to poll coaches around the conference, and I do this a lot, about who's just the more talented team, they're going to say Ohio State. Ohio State recruits at a higher level on a national basis. Both teams have put a lot of players in the NFL, and so it's not a wide gap. But again, I don't think anyone would be surprised if Ohio State avoids the 3rd straight loss to Michigan. But I think Michigan's deserving, finally, of being the favorite going into the season in the Big Ten, and they've earned it on the field. They've earned it with the way they put rosters together. And I think what's stunning to me is that they've had all of these potential distractions. We talked about some of them earlier. And it doesn't seem to faze them. They just continue to win. They're in this incredible period, even when they've had some, things that have happened in and around their program that could sidetrack a team. That hasn't happened so far, and we'll see if Michigan can three-peat. Be the first time ever that Michigan would win 3 consecutive outright Big Ten championships if they can do it this year.
Boy, that would be amazing. His name, Adam Rittenberg. Find him on Twitter at ESPN Rittenberg. Find his work, ESPN.com. Be on the lookout for the ever-changing and evolving Big Ten offenses coming to the internet near you. Adam, my friend, as always, thank you so much for the time this morning, partner. We greatly appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate you having me on. Thanks.
All right, he's off. He's got a very, very busy day today. Does Mr. Rittenberg headed up to Northwestern. Hey, folks, it's all going down this weekend. This coming Saturday, a bantamweight battle for the belt at UFC 292. Aljamain Sterling, Sean O'Malley fighting for the title this Saturday. Will the current champion keep his crown, or is it the challenger's time to shine? Get your bets in on the DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the UFC. New customers can bet just $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the promo code HUGE, promo code HUGE, where new customers bet $5 on UFC 292, get $150 in bonus bets instantly this Saturday, only on DraftKings, only using the promo code HUGE. Now, if you or somebody who knows a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline, 800-270-7117. 21 plus, Michigan only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions do apply. See terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/MMA terms. It's great to hear from Adam Rittenberg. By the way, Wisconsin transfer Graham Mertz has been named the starting quarterback at University of Florida. He's down there in the swamp, Gainesville. Adam said something there that I want to kind of circle back to, because I am this way about a lot of things. And you might not actually believe this, but I am a huge skeptic. I live in a state of cautiously optimistic, and because I spent so many years getting my brains beat in by Ohio State fans where I went to college at, and Michigan going through one of the worst eras of Michigan football history, and the fact that I was in school in Ohio, it was a really bad mix. And one of the things that I have done, and you might not believe this, but I have basically detached myself from wins and losses. The outcomes of games, at the end of the day, people tell me all the time, like, oh, it's got, man, what's more fun, or what do you like doing? Hey, look, it all pays the same. So win, lose, or draw, if I'm working a game, the game check comes in, and that's that. It is very difficult, though, to put that aside when you actually walk into the stadiums. Right? You walk into the big house, you see all the same ushers, you see all the same security personnel, you see the coaches, the players, strength staff, some of the other support staff members that are around. Sadi Washington, Juwan Howard are walking by, you're talking to them, just chopping it up real quick, and it's just like one of those things that you get in there, you hear the band, the students are going crazy, it's like, yeah, okay. It kind of brings your love for the game and your love for your team back a little bit. It happens all the time in basketball. Regardless of the outcome, it happens when the crowd is buzzing at Chrysler. There's not anything cooler, because every game matters. And you might not think that, but it does. It absolutely does. Just ask the Central Michigan Chippewas. So for me, when I hear Adam Rittenberg saying that Michigan has the best tandem of running backs in the country, flabbergasting, right? Donovan Edwards, the Don, Blake Corum, coming back. It's exciting. But I'm cautiously optimistic. Hour number 3 is next. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
In the den. Hey, sports fans, here's a hanging curveball that you can knock out of the ballpark. This is Matt Shepard, the voice of Detroit baseball, inviting you to step up to the plate at Eagle Casino and Sports, the mobile sports book where you can bet on all your favorites all year round, including, of course, our national pastime. So download the app and start winning today. Eagle Casino and Sports, made in Michigan, made for Michigan. Must be 21 years or older and in Michigan to play.
For the Tigers, today ends the season series with the Twins. Baseball's new format allows division rivals to meet just 13 times instead of the previous 19. It was meant to be more fan-friendly, giving fans a chance to see their favorite team play every team in baseball. Not sure the shortened division schedule is the reason, but the Tigers have already won the season series from Minnesota for the first time since 2016. In fact, they've been really good against the Central Division as a whole this year. Detroit was 8 games under 500 last season against their division rivals, but this year they have the best winning percentage within the AL Central. Important stat for sure that needs to continue if they want to contend in the future.
There are 13 folds that bring the American flag to the iconic shape of freedom. This summer, Folds of Honor and Budweiser celebrate 13 years of changing military and first responder lives together. Service never stops, and neither will we. So join me in raising a Budweiser to raise funds for Folds of Honor.
Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Fuel up for less with M-Perks. Earn points on your purchases when you shop at Meijer in-store and online. Then use your points to claim a fuel reward and save at the pump. Your dollar goes further at the pump with M-Perks. Plus, earn points for all qualifying purchases in the Meijer Express station. And keep a lookout for exclusive Meijer Express offers. Enter your M-Perks ID at checkout to earn. Exclusions apply. Not valid in Wisconsin. Max 30 gallons. Download the Meijer app to sign up or see Meijer.com to learn more.
Hey, this is Matt Shepard from the Michigan Sports Network. I love summers in Michigan because it means golf season. Now, two things always when I go golfing. I make sure I got my sticks, and I've got plenty of cold, fresh Labatt Blue Light. Whether I've just squeezed in 18 holes or I just want to relax on the patio after a long day, everywhere I go, and I'm serious when I tell you this, I tell people about the smooth, genuine taste of Labatt Blue Light. It's just a great beer. Michigan Sports Network is giving you a chance to win a foursome to Michigan's best courses. Just listen weekdays to The Huge Show and X's and Bros, or just text GOLF to 21,000 to enter. That's GOLF to 21,000. The trip includes 2 overnight stays and 2 rounds of golf, all brought to you by my friends at Labatt Blue Light. So grab a Labatt Blue Light the next time you head out onto the course and enjoy the blue skies, because blue is for Michigan summers and great times. Always enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023 Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York. All rights reserved. Labatt is a registered U.S. trademark of Labatt Brewing Company, Ltd.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Gets Benny in the corner!
To Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win! The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker! Kenny Walker! Touchdown! Spotty!
Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up.
Yes!
Caught! Touchdown Detroit Lions! They did it! Amon-Ra St. Brown in the receiving end!
Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here! A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Welcome back here. Hour number 3. X's and Bros on this Wednesday, the 16th day of August, 2023. So great to have you ride along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio and worldwide on the iHeartRadio app. We say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you. Join the program at any time. You can text the keyword sports radio. Send that to 21,000 sports radio to 21000. Our Meyer Supercenter guest line, 248-951-2176, 248-951-2176. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros. And, of course, good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN and streaming live on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. Add a .com to that to find our website. xbmornings@gmail.com is our fan feedback email inbox. And you can find us all individually on Twitter. Danny Cahalan is at Dan in the Studio. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key. And I'm Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. All right, what's going on in the world of sports? We'll try to get you all caught up with all the happenings. We'll do so right now in the headlines.
Big news.
I have a little news flash.
Let's check the headlines.
No, it's real news for once.
The biggest stories of the local, regional, and national news.
This is huge news.
The Las Vegas Raiders have put one offensive lineman, a third-round draft pick in 2018, who started all 12 games at right tackle as a rookie, 13 games there in 2021 on injured reserve. His name, Brandon Parker. Parker did not play for the Raiders preseason opener. That just kind of doubles down on what our good buddy Matt Kowalski was telling us Monday. Hey, you might have the Raiders in as the worst record in the NFL this year. The Jets have activated running back Br0's Hall after adding running back Dalvin Cook. A little bit more on this coming up later. Dalvin Cook, officially a Jet. Celtic star Kristaps Porzingis is going to skip the FIBA World Cup with a foot issue. Lingering plantar fasciitis he continues to deal with. How old do you think Kristaps Porzingis is? Remember, he was the unicorn. We'd never seen anything like it. He was the first version of Victor Wembanyama and Chet Holmgren and all these guys, these alien type of players. How old do you think Kristaps is?
I will say 27.
Wow, 28. Not bad.
Oh, I was going to say 28.
He has been in the league for 8 years. 8 years. He has got a lifetime average of 20 and 8 with 2 blocks a game. And shoots 49% from the field. Like, just get him on a winner. Like Dallas, like, how did that not work out with Doncic? I'll never know. I feel like that's an epic failure on all party sides right there. The fact that you had Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis in it's unbelievable. Defenseman Jeff Petrie has been traded again. This time he's headed home to the Detroit Red Wings. The defenseman was traded from Montreal to Detroit yesterday in exchange for defenseman Gustav Lindstrom and a conditional 4th-round pick in 2025. The Canadiens also retained 50% of the salary remaining on Petrie's contract, working out to approximately $2.4 million, which runs through 24-25. So it's the third trade involving Petrie over the last 13 months. This came just 10 days after Montreal acquired Petrie from Pittsburgh as a part of a blockbuster 3-team trade that had the reigning Norris Cup trophy-winning defenseman Erik Karlsson from San Jose getting sent to the Penguins. Canadiens took on 75% of Petrie's salary. Pittsburgh's retained the other 25%. Goaltender Casey DeSmith and prospect Nathan Laguerre in the deal. So good for Peaches because obviously his dad playing for the Detroit Tigers, they're going to wear the same number, 46. How about that? So in his prime, top 4 blue liner, but definitely adds, some experience, some defensive upside, can help the prospects along a little bit. And a native of Ann Arbor, spent 3 seasons suiting up for Michigan State before he graduated and went to the pros. Second-round draft choice by Detroit in Lidstrom, who's 24 years old, 2 goals and 25 total points in 128 NHL games. I'm not really sure. Not really sure about Gustav, and that hurts it with it being that draft pick. But hey, you know what? We're going to continue on, try to shake things up as much as possible, and hopefully there's an opportunity there for that team to be much improved and give Detroit Red Wings fans, across the board a little excitement. I too may have some excitement for you. Maybe at a later date I'll share, depending on the outcome. Trenton Flowers leaving Louisville for Australia's NBL. That's right. Trenton Flowers, a 5-star recruit for the class of 2023, is decommitted from Louisville, and he will go play for the Adelaide 36ers of the National Basketball League in Australia. Going to the NBL. That's where LaMelo Ball, Josh Giddey went. I'm not a fan of it. I'm sorry. I get it that you want to get out there and you want to make money. I think there's so much value in college athletics that is just being dismissed over dollars and cents that will more than likely be mismanaged by somebody at some point. That it's just awful. It's awful. And for those that capitalize on the NIL and do it the right way, God bless them. I'm happy for them. It's unfortunate that it has come to this because I am one that sees the traditional value, if you will, in college athletics, and I'm sorry that other people don't. I'm sorry. I feel bad that other people don't see that walking away from college debt-free is such a massive advantage. Not having to leave.
Not only that, it's
tens of thousands of dollars of student loans.
I can't even. If you befriend one of the donors and you have a degree, they will basically hire you. You need a job? Yeah, you can be. Oh, this is our former Spartan basketball player. That's how it works for a lot of people.
Absolutely. I mean, the world is
Mateen Cleaves doesn't do anything. He works for UWM.
The world is 99% relationship based. Like the CIA did a study on what makes great agents, and Anthony Bustamante is the former CIA agent who's talked about this, and he said you need to experience a certain level of childhood trauma that is just enough to make you a high, like, overachiever, like one of those people that has to win, a win at all cost mentality because you were overlooked or whatever the case might have been as a kid, but not as much trauma where you became dependent on escapism or some sort of coping mechanism, right? That's how they try to pinpoint psychologically who's going to work and who's not going to work for the CIA, right? We need someone that's just at that breaking point that they're not going to stop until they win, but they're not going to smoke crack to get away from their problems. You know what I mean? And I think that when we know this about, highly successful people, and we know that, that's what a government agency is looking for, right? Driven individuals. You take that driven individual and you put them in a position with good interpersonal communicational skills because all business is relationship based. It doesn't matter. You're going to do business with people that you have good relationships with. Everybody knows that. Everybody listening to that absolutely knows that. You're going to go see Freddie the Pizza Man because you hear him on the show, or you saw his video on Barstool, or whatever the case may be, and we interact and we jab each other and we have a great time having fun. But it's that relationship that's built, right, that makes you say, hey, I'm going to choose Freddie over going to whatever for a burger at whatever time, just not before 11 a.m., as we learned yesterday in the program as Freddie was sitting in line, right? All business is relationship-based. So if you could build good relationships and you're coming out of school with a degree as a student athlete, you're running the 100-meter race, but you're running from 50 meters. Like, the fact that people botch those opportunities to me is just, but you don't know what you don't know. If you never taught that, like, I blame your parents, I guess. We'll step aside. We shall return. You're going to hear Dan Dickerson's call of Miguel Cabrera. You're going to hear from Teddy Bridgewater. We got a lot to do here in a very little bit of time. Don't go anywhere. Keep it locked right here. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Shop back-to-school lunch and snack favorites this week at Meijer. Right now, when you shop hundreds of items across the store, pick any 7, and you'll pay just $1 each when you buy 7 or more. Get 7 for $7 on Totino's Pizza Rolls, Kraft Macaroni and Cheese, Pringles Grab-and-Go or Cheez-It Cups, Glasso Vitamin Water, or Meijer Sandwich or Snack Bags. Plus, get the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis,
Hey,
Missouri.
this is Matt Shepard from the Michigan Sports Network. I love summers in Michigan because it means golf season. Now, 2 things always when I go golfing. I make sure I got my sticks, and I've got plenty of cold, fresh Labatt Blue Light. Whether I've just squeezed in 18 holes or I just want to relax on the patio after a long day, everywhere I go, and I'm serious when I tell you this, I tell people about the smooth, genuine taste of Labatt Blue Light. It's just a great beer. Michigan Sports Network is giving you a chance to win a foursome to Michigan's best courses. Just listen weekdays to The Huge Show and X's and Bros, or just text GOLF to 21,000 to enter. That's GOLF to 21,000. The trip includes 2 overnight stays and 2 rounds of golf, all brought to you by my friends at Labatt Blue Light. So grab a Labatt Blue Light the next time you head out onto the course and enjoy the blue skies, because blue is for Michigan summers and great times. Always enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023 Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York. All rights reserved. Labatt is a registered U.S. trademark of Labatt Brewing Company, Ltd.
Share your thoughts all morning long on the Meyer guest line. Call 248-951-2176. That's 248-951-2176. Now, back to Danny, Ryan, and AB.
Isn't he? The 1-0 swinging a fly ball left field. This one's deep. This one's way back. And that ball is gone, a home run. Whoa, he put a charge into it. Absolutely crushed a fastball deep into left center field. Second of the year. Draws the arrow out of the quiver, shoots it into the home dugout on the third base side. 2-run shot, 2-0 Tigers.
Miguel Cabrera launching an absolute bomb out there. Tigers lose 5-3. It was home run number 509 for Miggy. However, Matt Wallner had different plans. He had a 450-foot grand salami that capped a 5-run sixth inning, and that was all she wrote for the Tigers, who fall to 53-66 on the season with that 5-3 defeat. So unfortunate timing for there. But good news for Miguel Cabrera. The 2-run shot in the second, number 509, ties former teammate Gary Sheffield, 26 on the all-time list. Just his second home run of the season. He's 2 home runs behind Mel Ott for 25th all-time. He has 1,867 RBI. That's one behind Ott for a tie for 11th in Major League Baseball history. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. And really glad that the article says RBI and not capital R, capital B, capital I, lowercase s. Because you wouldn't have runs batted ins. It doesn't make any sense.
RBI.
No, not even. Just RBI.
Oh, one, yes, if there's only one.
But if there's more than one,
you could have RBI.
Would not.
That's what it would that's what it should be but I know what you're saying. It just should be RBI, like 4
We don't
RBI.
say BBs.
You say runs. You say runs batted in.
Correct. And
so it would be RBI.
No, you don't say BBs for base on balls.
No, you say walk.
How's it kept in the stats?
Well, yeah,
BB.
base on balls.
Base on balls. You don't add an S to that.
I'm not denying it.
I know, because it's ridiculous. And anybody who says, RBIs, runs batted ins, it doesn't make any sense. It's runs batted in.
It's a ribeye, all right? It's a steak.
You know what I had last night? Speaking of ribeye, I did a little bone-in ribeye, but I took it off the bone, right? And then I diced up the pieces and made a stir fry out of it. Really good. It was one of those ones in the counter, it was, it had been sitting there and it's getting dark and everybody's just picking around it. And it was like, you know what? That's this one. Uncle, you want this? No? All right. That's what we're doing for dinner tonight. And it's fabulous. Did a little onion, did a little pepper, a little rice. It was perfect. All right. So besides my my dining choices and runs batted in, it was approved 17 minutes ago. Kyle Austin reporting right now. Can I get a breaking news bulletin, Mr. Dan? According to Kyle Austin, the Michigan State University Board of Trustees has just voted to approve new university rules allowing alcohol sales at athletic venues. The school hopes to begin selling booze on September 16th against Washington, pending a liquor license. Hey-o! As I said via the tweet, it'll be fine, folks. Stop pretending college kids don't drink and everyone going to buy a $10 to $15 beer is going to black out at kickoff. Everything's fine. More money, more sales, more. Also, just got an email from Apple. You want to know what they want to tell me? That my NFL Plus subscription is going up. I like NFL Plus because it gives me the chance to replay the games, because if I'm not at home watching it, it's very difficult to see from my vantage point on the field. And I got a million other things going on at the same time. Do you want to know what they're going to up the price? It was $79.99 for NFL Plus, but because of my career, that's a write-off. What do you think that it jumped to?
Oh boy, I don't. What package is this?
NFL Plus, $79.99 for the year.
Typically.
What do you think I just got the email that it's jumping to, and I can cancel on September 13th.
I'm gonna say $114.99.
You're just like them. You're just like them. $99 for this subscription to NFL Plus.
We pay $7 a month, but guess what? There's more. We pay $14 a month for 17 other subscriptions to the we got on a cable, but we can't watch. What the
That's how I feel about subscriptions. That's it right there. What has Netflix jumped up to? Where did Netflix start at $9.99? What are they at right now?
I don't know. I'm sure it started cheaper than $9.99. But I don't know the original. I mean, they used to before streaming, they would send you DVDs. So Netflix has been around for a long time.
I mean, my God, like, what are we doing? And the thing about it is, when you sign up for these subscription services, they just tack it on. They send you an email. You got 8,000 emails. So, like, are you really going through and finding every single subscription? Or are they just pinging you and you don't even know it because it's a direct withdrawal from your account? It's an automatic withdrawal. Like, this is a crime. I need a House committee investigation. Skip that stupid Michigan game and play St. Mary Catholic. If they were playing a real school like Jefferson High School, then I see you going. I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that means. I have 0.0% any idea what that means. I won't bring anything up. You just talk from both sides of your mouth when it's convenient for your agenda, so you said it all. Oh, wow. Both sides of my mouth. I only have one mouth. Michigan fans can't keep it up on all these NCAA rules, but they can when Ohio State and Michigan State has issues. Well, the good news is, when Michigan does have a problem, our friends in Columbus and in East Lansing definitely help us keep track of everything. That much is for sure. Also, I find it interesting that a level 1 violation and a suspension. How many games was Urban Meyer suspended for?
No idea.
He got 3 games suspension in 2018. A 3-game suspension for his handling of the alleged Smith shenanigans. I just oh no, I was Gene Smith. Who was the coach? Now, why can't I remember? Zach Smith, right?
Correct.
Just 3 games for a case in which a coach was allegedly aware of another one of his staffers involved in a domestic violence case. Got 3 games. Now, interesting note here for all of you Harbaugh watchers, because there's a few of you out there. There is an individual on this committee that is investigating Jim Harbaugh. This member of this committee might be on a little bit of a hunt. His name is Jim Stapleton. He's a former Michigan grad and
he's a Michigan grad.
Michigan grad, former regent at Eastern Michigan University. Now, according to sources way back when, Jim Stapleton, also a Vikings minority owner since 2005. Stapleton had been accused of sabotaging Rich Rodriguez. He wrote a 4-page letter refuting the charge. Still had his sideline pass revoked. He's now one of Jim Harbaugh's biggest critics and perhaps was in on why Harbaugh didn't get the Vikings job as a minority owner. Quote, I think this is a critical time in the industry in which one reason I put my hand up to serve. This group can really make a difference, according to Jim Stapleton going after Jim Harbaugh here. So just throwing that out there. throwing it out there. We'll step aside when we return. Teddy Bridgewater talking to the media. We'll hear from him next. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Elevate your night out at the legendary Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, now open at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Start with the finest cuts of USDA prime beef. Pair that with handcrafted cocktails, signature sides, and Ruth's legendary hospitality, and you've got yourself one incredible night. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse has arrived. Make a reservation at ruthschris.com for your incredible night at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined.
Shop back-to-school lunch and snack favorites this week at Meijer. Right now, when you shop hundreds of items across the store, pick any 7, and you'll pay just $1 each when you buy 7 or more. Get 7 for $7 on Totino's Pizza Rolls, Kraft Macaroni and Cheese, Pringles Grab-and-Go or Cheez-It Cups, Glasso Vitamin Water, or Meijer Sandwich or Snack Bags. Plus, get the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Huge here for Matt Golden and his team at the Tullymore Golf Resort in Canadian Lakes, Michigan. They just got exciting news. Tullymore once again has been ranked as one of America's top 100 greatest public golf courses by Golf Digest, number 73 in America. And you can experience Tullymore. If you've never played before, you need to get up there. There's the Tullymore Golf Course, St. Ives, 36 holes, great stay and play accommodations. Or if you just want to book a tee time, Tullymore is less than an hour north of GR. Go to tullymoregolf.com. That is tullymoregolf.com. You can book a tee time for this summer, stay and play package throughout the end of the year, or even look ahead to 2024. Go to tullymoregolf.com. That's tullymoregolf.com. And congrats to everybody at Tullymore for being named one of America's top 100 greatest public golf courses by Golf Digest.
City to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City. You're listening to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. So great to have you ride along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening. Appreciate you making us a part of your day each and every weekday morning all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio and worldwide on the iHeartRadio app. That's Danny Galen. Ryan Elke working super remote, but big thanks to him getting the job done, even though he is away from the studio this morning. And I'm Anthony Bellino. Text the keyword sports radio. Send that to 21,000 sports radio to 21000. You use my Peyton Manning, Troy Aikman, Terry Bradshaw examples very well to try to prove your point. You're welcome, host. It's funny everything I bring up becomes true or shows up in later shows. Then you have media guys on, and they tell you the same things I've been telling you. I haven't had anyone on to discuss Anthony Richardson. My whole point with Anthony Richardson is that the Indianapolis franchise has already been through this, so they're well equipped if he has a bad year. That was my whole point. That was it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to I didn't mean to upset anybody. I apologize. Here's the caveat. Troy Aikman, Peyton Manning, and Terry Bradshaw. When were their rookie seasons? More than 20 years ago, right? 20 years ago was 2003. Bradshaw had been retired for 20 years. Aikman had been in the booth for 20 years. Peyton Manning, 20 years in the league. I'm teasing. You get my point here. Today's atmosphere does not bode well for rookie quarterbacks. You have a shorter leash in the world of professional sports if you do not perform in today's game than ever before. See Trey Lance, San Francisco. See Sam Darnold, New York Jets. See Zach Wilson, New York Jets. My comparison to Peyton Manning was because the Colts franchise and fan base has seen this before. In a much different time. A much different time. You know, we are a lot quicker to pull the trigger and get rid of somebody in today's. I mean, hell, everything I bring up always comes true. Same guy that wanted Dan Campbell fired after, 4 weeks last year, I believe? Maybe it was 5 weeks. I'm not sure. Wanted to clean house. He was a culture guy, doesn't know anything. Aubrey Pleasant was a scrub that, or no, it wasn't Aubrey Pleasant was a scrub. Aubrey Pleasant was a scapegoat to save his job. Yeah. I remember. Malik Willis at 2, baby. Malik Willis at 2. Instead, we can get a guy who's in the running for Defensive Rookie of the Year. So, just throwing that out there. That was my only comparison to bringing up Peyton Manning. Sometimes it takes quarterbacks more time in the NFL. But because that is the most important position in sports, sometimes they're just not good. Like Sam Darnold. At least Baker won a playoff game. Sam Darnold. What are we doing there?
Okay, but those are the guys you just they're not put in good organizations or positions where they will be able to succeed.
Why is that? Because people keep drafting quarterbacks high in the draft and their team isn't built. And thank you for saying that, Dan.
Well, you can have a non-built team and just say, we're going to sit you so that we're not ruining, the later years of your career by getting you hurt early on. You can have a veteran quarterback while you're rebuilding your core and then insert a younger quarterback. I mean, I don't know why people don't think that you can do that.
Because if you draft a quarterback in the first round, especially in the top 10, they have to play yesterday. They have to. It's against the rules, Dan. You didn't know this? You just keep drafting quarterbacks until you get it right. Well, that's fine,
I
but
feel
the rest
like
of your team is going to be
know
garbage.
who we're looking at?
Who
did that is the Niners. I mean, they really haven't had a steady quarterback Everybody else has been great. And now they're like, yeah, we're starting this Brock Purdy kid who was nowhere near in the picture until week 16 last year.
They wasted a pick on Trey Lance.
And they're still a top 5 team in the league.
Because the rest of their team is built. They can survive mediocre quarterback play because they have a very good defense. They have some great weapons on offense. If Brock Purdy doesn't get injured, are we talking about the Eagles in the same light? Like, it's interesting. We'll never know. We'll never know. But, like, I mean, this obsession over Trey Lance when they drafted him, for what? You had a quarterback in place. What are you doing? But, you know, you get a guy for depth who doesn't have to play, not a lot of pressure, sits back, learns the playbook, comes out, performs. That's Brock Purdy. So we shall see. Want to remind you folks, it's August, which means you're running out of time to book your golf trip. Now's a great time to call my buddy Matt Golden over at Tullymore Golf Resort and book your stay and play today. Visit TullymoreGolf.com, TullymoreGolf.com, or give them a dial at 1-800-972-4837. That's 1-800-972-4837. Go visit Tullymore. You can play St. Ives, too. They have a shuttle bus to take you from one point to the next. It's an hour north of Grand Rapids. It's 30 minutes west of Mount Pleasant, right there in Canadian Lakes. Easy to get to no matter what direction you're coming from. So be sure to head on out to TullymoreGolf.com. Take a look at the scorecard. Do not play it from the tips. I've done that. It was a fun experience. I want you to have more fun. We knew what we were getting into. The starter looked at us like we had 5 eyes. You sure about that? Like, oh yeah, we're sure. We know what we want. This is what we want. We want pain. Teddy Bridgewater talking to the media. Yes, he will be wearing number 50. We got to find a jersey for him. But here's what Teddy.
He also said it's preseason.
It is preseason. Well, in the regular season, quarterbacks have to wear 0 to 19. That's one of the stipulations. So there's not really like, you know, they're going to work that around. He can wear 50 for the preseason because it doesn't really matter. From my perspective and from my profession, the old number system was so much better. So much better. And some people might hate that. They might hate it. But for me personally, and for all of us that work in the actual sport, like, please, we want to be able to go by player number. I don't need somebody wearing 00 or regular 0. The numbers, there was a code in the numbers. And the code made it easy for all of us to be able to identify who was doing what. Now with this no new number system, like, I don't know what's going on. You got Marvin Jones 0, Cam Sutton 1, CJ GJ at 2, Jack Fox is 3, David Montgomery, his old number, is 5. So 4 is available. 6 is Melly. 8 is Josh Reynolds, so you do have 7 available. Jameson's 9, Sudfeld's 10. That might become available here. Khalif Raymond's 11, 12 is available. Craig Reynolds is 13. Amon-Ra St. Brown is 14. Mo Alexander's 15. Jared Goff 16. Mims 17. Adrian Martinez 18. Trinity Benson 19. Obviously nobody's touching 20, but you can't be 20 anyways. So there might be a little bit of wiggle room when we get through cuts for Teddy B to find an actual number 0 to 19, which is the bylaw of the NFL. Now, here's what Teddy Bridgewater had to say about paying it forward.
Man, that's just been me my entire life, just paying it forward, because I know that I won't play this game forever. You know, there's certain things in life that I can't do forever. So it's like, man, how can I leave an everlasting impact? How can I prepare the next wave of talent, the next wave of, you know, athletes for what's in store? And, you know, it's kind of like my gift of life, you know, just honestly pouring into the younger, you know, athletes, the younger players on the team. And that's how I stay blessed, I feel. That's how I keep getting opportunities. Of course, aside from what I'm able to do as a football player, but it just means a lot to me, especially when you see guys like Jamison Williams, who has, like, unbelievable talent. I get to be a part of his journey. And JT and I, we talk a lot because he's now on the coaching side. You know, he's telling guys, man, Teddy taught me when I was a rookie. You know, he taught me how to do this, do that. You know, that's what it's all about for me. And, of course, having success as a player. But those are the life trophies that, I get. Those are the plaques that, you don't see on the walls. And it just means a lot to me.
I mean, a teammate's teammate. That's all we're looking for. And that's all I can hope for you as you're driving to work right now, is to be a really good teammate. Right? Go the extra mile, do the extra thing, take care of what needs to be taken care of. Work in a form and fashion that if you made somebody else's life easier today at work, you did a good job. You did a good job. Had a little bit of a moment yesterday in my own work where I was like, you know what? It's a leadership role. I don't really tell anybody what to do. I don't. It's not my place. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You know why you're employed. And if it was your business and you saw this younger fella run around like his hair's on fire from the moment he walks in to the moment he leaves, you would think that would kind of give you a little boost. And, hey, what can I do to help make life easier? If it was your business, you'd probably walk in, and if you saw one of your employees sitting there eating something out of a deli cup while there's somebody standing at the counter waiting to be waited on, and there goes the young man running around with his hair on fire to stop what he is doing to go wait on the customer, I don't need to say anything. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to say anything. This person needs help. You're too busy snacking on the job. So you know what? Because you're so busy taking care of yourself, I'll go take care of the person that is the reason that you have a job, because they are the customer. They are not an inconvenience to us. Right? These are things that need to be. I don't have to teach somebody that, though. Right? I shouldn't have to teach you that, especially as a grown adult. If it was a young kid, yeah, I get on them. The older people I work, hands free. It is what it is. You got to be a good teammate. If you're a really good teammate, Teddy Bridgewater, that right there, the life trophies, the life plaques, where he talks about how meaningful it is that people feel a certain way about his impact on them, either as a person, as a player, maybe as both. I like Teddy Bridgewater. His career was stolen from him with, catastrophic injury. And he's back. And he might not be a go-to number one on a depth chart. He might not be somebody that everybody's looking for to be able to lead their franchise to the promised land. But Teddy Bridgewater at one point was thought to be that guy. And he is lightning in a bottle. And maybe, as we've seen, the one-time Pro Bowler, he's been in the league since 2014. He's got an overall record right about 500 at 33 and 32. Completion percentage, 66%. Lifetime. That's a great number. 75 touchdowns, 47 picks, and just hasn't had a whole lot of opportunity to be an everyday starter. And I think that his work in New Orleans, the experience with Dan Campbell, and Dan Campbell realizing what he can bring in the event of an emergency, as we've already talked about, Teddy Bridgewater's that insurance policy, but what he's going to bring, Dan Campbell talking, at length about how Teddy B would come in the day before with all the young receivers and go through the game plan with them. And you trust Teddy Bridgewater to go through the game plan with these young guys. This is what we're doing. This is what we're looking for. Here. This is where you need to be. This is what we are as quarterbacks are looking at. The amount of knowledge that he can pass on. As a guy that, our starting quarterback might have some other things happening at that moment. Right? But that could be that extra time already. Like, all we've been waiting to see from Jameson Williams is Amon-Ra St. Brown goes out there and catches 202 footballs. Because some kid after practice one day caught 200, and Amon-Ra is a psychopath and was like, well, I'm going to do more than that guy. So I'm going to do 202. And he's out there every day just catching ball after ball after ball out of the jugs machine. The thing's firing missiles at him from like 10 feet away. And he's whoosh, every time. They go through this all day long. To be a pro. That's what we've wanted to see out of Jameson. We want to see just anything. Just give me some after practice work. we got some good work in today. That's after practice, and we got done what we needed to get done, and I'm going to go work on my skill, my craft. I'm going to dedicate myself to being the best player I could be. You start doing that, the media is going to see it. They're going to write a couple articles. You're going to be good. Like, that's how this works. You just got to be a pro. You have to be a pro. And I think that that's sometimes one of the areas that people have maybe some questions about Jameson Williams. I'm not there at training camp every day. But, you lean on our guests who we have on the show, guys like Eric Schlitt and Jeremy Reisman and, Dave Burkett and, all the beats to, tell us what they're seeing. Media availability is going on, and boom, there's a guy catching balls over there. Who's that? What are they doing? Here's an extra couple routes. Jared Goff was there with, I don't know if it's Jahmyr Gibbs or who it was after practice, just going over a couple things like, hey, this boom, boom, boom. This is what we're looking for. And little things like that go a long way. And when you have somebody in your organization that you trust to lead properly, it's going to tell people the right information. I don't need somebody giving directions that doesn't know what the hell's going on, right? That's a recipe for disaster. So if Teddy B has great understanding of the offense, just terminology might be a little different, he'll pick that up right away. And he can bring another voice to some of these other players and be another set of eyes for Jared Goff and Ben Johnson. I love that. Throw some stuff at the wall and see what sticks. You might see something in film that everybody else missed and say, what about XYZ? Light bulb might go off like, hey, wait a minute now. Right? You can't have too many pros on the roster. That much is for certain. So I was very excited about Teddy's media availability. I know it's just words. I know we want to see more stuff, right? I know we want to be able to all of it. We want to be able to see it. It's like what Lomas talked about with JMO. We got to be able to see it first. Don't just tell me you got to see it. But those are very encouraging words from a guy that's going to be wearing number 50 this Saturday at 1 o'clock against the Jacksonville Jaguars. All right, folks, it's also going down Saturday night, UFC 292. Aljamain Sterling against Sean O'Malley. They're going to fight for the title on Saturday. And you get your bets in on over at DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the UFC. New customers bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Just download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the promo code HUGE. New customers bet $5 on UFC 292 and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. This Saturday, only on DraftKings Sportsbook, only using the promo code HUGE. Now, if you or somebody knows a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline, 800-270-7117. 21 plus Michigan-only bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions to apply. See terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/MMA terms. For Danny Cahalan and Ryan Elk, I'm Anthony Bellino. So long. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Hey, this is Matt Shepard from the Michigan Sports Network. I love summers in Michigan because it means golf season. Now, two things always when I go golfing. I make sure I got my sticks, and I've got plenty of cold, fresh Labatt Blue Light. Whether I've just squeezed in 18 holes or I just want to relax on the patio after a long day, everywhere I go, and I'm serious when I tell you this, I tell people about the smooth, genuine taste of Labatt Blue Light. It's just a great beer. Michigan Sports Network is giving you a chance to win a foursome to Michigan's best courses. Just listen weekdays to The Huge Show and X's and Bros, or just text GOLF to 21,000 to enter. That's GOLF to 21,000. The trip includes 2 overnight stays and 2 rounds of golf, all brought to you by my friends at Labatt Blue Light. So grab a Labatt Blue Light the next time you head out onto the course and enjoy the blue skies, because blue is for Michigan summers and great times. Always enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023 Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York. All rights reserved. Labatt is a registered U.S. trademark of Labatt Brewing Company, Ltd.
Fuel up for less with M-Perks. Earn points on your purchases when you shop at Meijer in-store and online. Then use your points to claim a fuel reward and save at the pump. Your dollar goes further at the pump with M-Perks. Plus, earn points for all qualifying purchases in the Meijer Express station. And keep a lookout for exclusive Meijer Express offers. Enter your M-Perks ID at checkout to earn. Exclusions apply. Not valid in Wisconsin. Max 30 gallons. Download the Meijer app to sign up or see Meijer.com to learn more.
There are 13 folds that bring the American flag to the iconic shape of freedom. This summer, Folds of Honor and Budweiser celebrate 13 years of changing military and first responder lives together. Service never stops, and neither will we. So join me in raising a Budweiser to raise funds for Folds of Honor.
Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Huge here for Matt Golden and his team at the Tullymore Golf Resort in Canadian Lakes, Michigan. They just got exciting news. Tullymore, once again, has been ranked as one of America's top 100 greatest public golf courses by Golf Digest. Number 73 in America. And you can experience Tullymore. If you've never played before, you need to get up there. There's the Tullymore Golf Course, St. Ives, 36 holes, great stay and play accommodations. Or if you just want to book a tee time, Tullymore is less than an hour north of GR. Go to tullymoregolf.com. That is tullymoregolf.com. You can book a tee time for this summer, stay and play package throughout the end of the year, or even look ahead to 2024. Go to tullymoregolf.com. That's tullymoregolf.com. And congrats to everybody at Tullymore for being named one of America's top 100 greatest public golf courses by Golf Digest.